Alright, welcome to my channel. So you're watching a series of video of material practice, and so previously we start from a solid sphere and we try to make it transparent. And then once we got these two extreme values, one's completely solid, the other's like 99% transparent. We got these two value, and we can explore what's inside like these two extreme values. So what's in the middle? Sorry about that. English is not my first language. Sorry about that. So we try a semi-transparent thing, and yeah, it's all works pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is to practice. And in fact, for me, it's my first time drawing this, so it's a kind of a little bit challenge for myself. So we're going to make it not so transparent, and it's solid, but it's pretty reflective. So, for example, when you draw like a jewelry, and we got like I don't know, maybe some like rings and the ring and some chains, something like that. It kind of resemble the material of, I think maybe it's gold, something like that. Yeah. So let's try this. So in order to draw this, I think we can sort of start from the sphere. So what I'm going to do is to duplicate the whole sphere and make it here. Yeah, sorry. Make it at the top here. Okay, why can't I make it like a top of it? Yeah, maybe here. And then just hide everything. This layer, I think I don't need this. And hide everything. And start from this layer. Okay, so let's think about this. Things is not transparent, so the shadow part we can sort of keep it. Okay, the shadow part we can keep it. I already add a Gaussian blur, so we don't need this layer. And this pretty solid. I love this, but this is like a rough edges. Okay, it's like a marble sort of material, so it's like a stone basically. So it's like pretty rough, so we can have a lot of transition here. It's not have a very good like reflection of the material, say the ground below. We don't have this. But think about this: if the material is like a metal, and it can have a lot of a reflection like a mirror. Okay, let me change position a little bit. It can have a like mirror, so you need to draw something similar to this, I believe, transparent. If you look at transparent, okay, let me look at transparent and hide it. If you look at transparent, we got some of the damped version of the reflection, and that is the thing that we can use. But okay, let me just do something like this. But we can sort of make it more reflective. Okay, so let me duplicate this. Okay, and move this up, maybe inside, and hide it. Okay, and I'm going to use this sphere here. Okay, sorry, I paused this video a little bit. I have to like check my son, and he's making a lot of noise outside. Sorry about that. So if you look at here, we don't need this, and yeah, this is already alpha locked, so we can utilize this as well. So we can move this layer above. Things is like a reflection, and we can make it a clipping mask. So just to clip what's outside, and yeah, I love this. But here, the color is not good enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to change the color. So let's think about this. For example, let me use the gold color, I think. Some golden color here, maybe. Yeah, maybe something like this. Okay, I'm going to experiment a little bit. Not so sure about this, but hey, let's try this. So I already added here. Oh, I already alpha lock this. Okay, let's go back here. Why I can't like drop the color? Okay, so let's think about this. Let me alpha lock it, and I'm going to use a brush, maybe an ink, maybe a marker, something like that, so I can get it fairly big, and I can make this some sort of a textured feel. Okay, so it got this like base color, but this is definitely not going to work. So I want this to be brighter. Okay, so maybe color dodge, something like that, just to make things a little bit brighter and make it more like stand out. Because even though the ground is like a I don't know what kind of color, I tend to make this color just neutral, like a whitish color. But this color will change because you sort of reflect in a golden cube, so you will have a color change definitely. And yeah, so I can use color dodge, or I can use maybe add. Yeah, I think add looks pretty good. Light overlay. Yeah, I think overlay is pretty good. Soft light, hard light, all that. Yeah, vivid light. I think vivid light do kind of bring out the like really bright color here. Hard mix, I don't want that. Yeah, I think vivid light can be a candidate. Divide, kind of good, but not luminosity. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I think I can use vivid light. Yeah, I love this vivid light. So I'm going to use this vivid light. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this as well, so it can get like more bright. And I'm going to use maybe color dodge. Can I use color dodge? Okay, I'm going to experiment this a little bit. Just make this a little bit brighter, or maybe not. Okay, maybe not. Just to duplicate and make this a dampen a little bit. Okay, so yeah, pretty good. And then don't forget, since this is like a mirror, the dark shadow below will also be reflected as the cube. So this time I think I'm going to make it a clipping mask, and then I'm going to do this manually. Things is a really reflective, highly reflective surface, so it kind of need to reflect the approximately, of course, the shadow down below. So I'm going to use a like not so soft edges, but rather some hard edges pen. Okay, and let's make it pretty dark, pretty saturated color. Okay, something like this. Okay, I'm going to make it. Okay, here, maybe something like this. I'm not sure, but it's not like a mathematical problem, so you can always sort of get away with this. Yeah, that's okay. Let's feel the edges here. Feel the edges here. All right, and smaller, and here, and I can feel, and I can. Sorry, I'm going to click here. Okay, so yeah, pretty good, pretty good. So I got like a reflection, and I'm not sure about the color here, so I'm going to duplicate this. Yeah. Alright, I'm still not too satisfied with this. Sorry about that, I have to check my sound now and then. you know, because like he's screaming a lot. Okay, maybe. Okay, I already like combine these two together, so okay, much better. And I can just erase this. Hopefully, erase this. So smaller. I think the eraser is like a soft brush. I'm going to make a hard brush. Okay, I'm going to make this edge better. Okay, it's just a tiny little detail that make your drawing like sort of a more realistic. Yeah, maybe that's too much. Studio pen. Maybe I'm going to use a airbrush, soft brush. Yeah, too big. Smaller. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't want to overdo this. Okay, maybe just eraser. Don't overdo this. Okay, so got like some sort of a reflection, but the shadow here I think is not dark enough. So maybe I'm going to combine these two together, and maybe make it some sort of highlight linear difference, hue, saturation, luminosity. Yeah, darken. Can I get a darken here and duplicate? Yeah, I can't get darker than this, so I have to pick the color and make it darker. Yeah. Yeah, that's more like it. That's more like it. And maybe too much, so I'm going to make a little bit light so you can see through this. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, so the reflection is ready, and then I think this is just too dark for the cube here. It's just too dark. So what I'm going to do is to add a little bit lighter color. So what I'm going to do is use a color picker. Okay, add another clipping mask, and I'm going to make it above everything else, because all this reflection is sort of like a mirror, so it's underneath the texture. So for example, I used my fingernail to scratch the surface to give some like lines or something like that. It should like floating above the reflection. So that's the thing that I was trying to express. I don't know whether I say that clearly or not. So basically, I'm going to have some sort of environment light. So I already add this light here. So what I'm going to do is to make it maybe yellow, much more yellow, much more brighter, maybe more saturated, something like that. Okay. Of course, if you want like really highlight, you can just go with the black color. But right now, I think this color should do. Okay, so basically, go left a little bit and more saturate a little bit. Okay, things is like floating above sort of thing, and I'm going to use a soft brush. Okay, I love all this brush, and I'm not sure about this, so I decrease opacity and increase the size, just to give you like a rough feeling about this. Okay, something here, because light come from this way, so the highlight area should have more. So I'm going to increase a little bit, just tiny little bit, because I'm not sure about how it will go. So just get a rough area here, because the surface is not 100%. Okay, so just add some, because yeah, the environmental reflection is kind of like a random thing, and then you can experiment with the different settings. So multiply, definitely not that. Lighten, screen. I think screen is pretty good. Color dodge, I love this. Not only just add light, but also change the saturation. So I love this. Add, I think add is even better. Light color, not too much because it's just simply too subtle. I don't want that. Hard mix, yeah. Luminosity, just not enough. So the candidate will be the add and color dodge. Okay, I think color dodge is not enough, so I'm going to use the addition here. So add, and then things I already satisfied with it, I'm going to add a little bit more here and decrease the opacity but increase the range and add a little bit more here, yeah. And things, this is just showing too much of your brush tip, so Gaussian blur is always our friend. We can just make it something like this. But don't overdo it. If you overdo it, it will just become really rough surface. Okay, I want like sort of a reflection here. So doing something like this and decrease because I don't want like too much. Okay, so maybe something like here. And still it does not give you a really reflective surface sort of feeling. So what I'm going to do is to add another and make it really bright. So I'm going to test a little bit of the bright color, double tap, bright color here, and things is pretty bright. I'm going to use a medium, maybe hard brush, just to experiment a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to have a fairly large, really bright color, maybe increase opacity because you can't actually see it here. So I'm going to use something like this, maybe increase opacity. That's about bright enough. Increase opacity, increase the size. Okay, just maybe just a little bit bigger. Okay, a little bit bigger. Increase it, just decrease the opacity a little bit bigger. Yeah, decrease and increased a little bit. Yeah, and decrease, increase. Okay, that's simply too much. Maybe need to increase a little bit, maybe a little bit. Okay, yeah, I think that's about it. Just a tiny little. Okay, so yeah, you got like a really highlight here, and then using a little bit of Gaussian, but don't overdo this, just a little tiny little bit, so you can give a sort of reflective feeling to it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So the light area is pretty much it. Yeah, the light area is pretty much it, but don't forget you need the shadowy part as well. So the shadow part, the same goes like everywhere. So normally I think I would add a little bit shadow area here. Maybe this is shadow and reflection area, already feel that. And so the shadow will not take like a huge part, but you can have some interesting reflection because it's like a mirror. So for example, if there is a like a man holding a camera, something like that, you can make it appear here, and things normally you wouldn't see like the whole picture because it's not flat, it's really screwed picture. So you can do something like this. Okay, you can always like hide this behind the table. For example, if this table and behind the camera, so behind this highlight, the stock camera, sorry about that. So I'm going to use a hard brush here, and I'm going to use something interesting, like really darknish. I still got a kind of tilt of the original material color. I intend, yeah, I do that intentionally. That's because, yeah, that's because it got the tilt of the material that actually reflect. So, yeah, let me add a shape, maybe something like a person. Okay, okay, I'm going to use the full opacity. Okay, why can't I like undo pen stroke? Why can't I undo this pen stroke? Yeah, I'm just undo too much. Yeah, that's more like it. And yeah, let me increase the opacity. Okay, because I can like always decrease the opacity later. So for example, a man here, so the man should have a curved, because if you draw a man here, you should have something like this. Okay, the hair, something like that, and the hands and the body, and maybe he's like taking a picture, something like that. But things, this is not a flat surface, so it's a kind of curve, so you have to do something like the curve. Maybe I'm going to, yeah, hard brush. Let's try with a hard brush. No guarantee will work at the first time. All right, so there will be the hands, okay, shoulder, hair, something like that. Okay, so I know there will be weird. The shoulder, the hand, something like that. So it's a curved man. Yeah, can I just feel that with some sort of color? Or maybe I'm going to just make it bigger, just to make do with some sort of shape of the man. Okay, and the good thing about round brush is that once you like draw that overlap that one or two times, you can sort of feel the shape. And Gaussian blur, always best friend. We can just do a little bit, but don't overdo this. If you overdo this, it will just be a pretty dirty mark. You don't want that. Okay, you don't want that. So just a tiny little bit. So sort of hide and make like a little bit more natural for the man. And so for example, already got some man like this. I can make it like a little bit behind, and maybe behind here, still behind below. Okay, behind here. Oh, it's kind of a color dodge. So I have to combine this and do. Yeah, it doesn't really matter because you know what, I can always like hide this, but you have to be like sort of follow certain logic. The man can't show above here, okay, because that certainly won't follow the logic. So what I'm going to do is to gently erase, hard brush, I love this, gently erase this part. So just a more logical thing to do. Okay, I'm not going to use any of the trick that I share with you guys in my other video, because I just want this experiment to work rather than share with some like nice trick. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty good. So we got our man erased, and then of course you can change a little bit. So for example, you want to just have some sort of a hint, you can do that. You can darken this. Okay, so it's like definitely a man here. Multiply this. Yeah, you can play around with this. I think the normal is already pretty good. Screen definitely not going to work unless you are like a superhuman. You got some sort of light, hard light, all that. This is very interesting. You can change the river light, linear lights, hard mix, difference. Oh my gosh, difference also works pretty good. You can use difference, exclusion, yeah, all that. Yeah, this is very interesting. Divide. So the difference, like subtract, something like that. Yeah, I can duplicate, so double subtract and just decrease this a little bit so you can get a nice feeling. That's really just this kind of experiment, okay? You do not need to follow me at this stage because you can even like make a double of it. Doesn't really matter. Just it's just a personal preference, okay? So we got this a man, like you already can see the man here, and of course you can always add a some sort of a shadow area. So for example, the shadow area can, yeah, definitely below the light, and just make a soft brush. It's just personal taste. So pick it here, add in a little bit of shadow. I love this workflow. So it's just yeah, your, just to add a little bit of your, you know, oh, it's just a clipping mask. So I'm going to make it like top here, increase opacity a little bit, and you already make it dark a little bit. So you have some sort of a shadow here, maybe increase the opacity, some sort of shadow here, here, maybe, you know, some dark area here. It's just your personal taste. You can add wherever you like. Okay, some here, yeah, maybe a clipping mask. Sorry, yeah, because yeah, if you add clipping mask, the clip below, maybe here, maybe clipping mask here. Yep, maybe a little bit below. I want the shadow to below the light, so the light will like shine through the shadow. Okay, so yeah, and maybe a little bit, just tiny little bit. That's definitely too much. Tiny little bit shadow here, a little bit shadow here. But things is fairly like reflective, so you don't need to worry too much about the shadow area. And I'm going to make a shadow overlay. Yeah, difference maybe too much. Decrease. So if it's difference, we're going to like decrease this, and adding a Gaussian just to soften up a little bit. Yeah. So still I think is kind of good, but not good enough. So I'm going to like combine. Yeah, maybe not combine this. Maybe I'm going to add a little bit Gaussian blur for this. Gaussian blur, maybe this. I have some sort of Gaussian blur. Yeah, that's much better. It's much better. And still is not good enough. So what I'm thinking is to add some of the like the scratch on the surface. So let's experiment. I'm not sure this will work. So use some sort of a material that's kind of like a charcoal or sketch pencil, maybe. Yeah, let's try pencil. Okay, I'm going to use a really bright color, and okay, let's just experiment this. I'm not sure that will work, so okay, that's pretty interesting, huh? So I'm going to make it decrease the opacity, decrease the size. Yeah, this is like a scratch. Oh my gosh, really interesting. Let's try this. Let's try this one more time. Okay, this is pretty good. And some scratch here. Okay, that's very interesting. Let me make this a clipping mask. Okay, so it can never draw out. So pretty good. And let me increase the size, maybe, just to make it more tear and wear sort of thing. Okay, I begin to grow bolder. So maybe add a tiny scratch. Okay, and some scratch here and there. Maybe decrease the scratch a little bit. And since it's like a round area here, so what I'm going to do is to make the scratch like follow the edge here. Okay, and yeah, that's very interesting, but I'm not sure about the final result. So yeah, yeah, very interesting. I'm going to just decrease this layer. Okay, I'm going to, maybe I can use different color dodge. Add, yeah, add, decrease this, so it's dampening down a little bit. Yeah, I love this. Add, pretty good. Light color, also pretty good. Maybe I can just use light color. And I'm going to randomize this a little bit. So I'm going to duplicate this. Since it's already a clipping mask, I can move this around, right? I can move this around and can never go outside of the area. So I can rotate it and put it randomly at my cube. Okay? Yeah. So yeah, but we got like a rounded area, so I have to follow a certain order. And yeah, let me duplicate this as well, and then move it by like increase this a little bit, and still I want to rotate maybe more. Okay, so yep, and yeah, that's much more interesting. Give you a like a real life looking. Decreases just to randomize things a little bit. Increase a little bit, maybe decrease. I don't want too much. Increase a little bit. Okay, so just to give it a feeling of tear and wear, I believe it's a brush thing. So maybe use like a charcoal, something like that. Okay, I'm going to try this as well. So let's try this. Oh, this looks nice. This looks nice. Okay, let me try this. Okay, I love this kind of experiment. So maybe add a little bit. Okay, that's maybe that's too much. But no matter, I can like erase some part. Okay, I'm going to erase this. Okay, yeah, love this. Maybe this will work. Okay, I'm going to erase some part and make the whole layer down a little bit, just in order to give you a little bit texture, just a little bit tear and wear. Okay, maybe, okay, I'm going to try something crazy. Out of clipping mask, maybe I'm going to give the whole area a little bit texture. Okay, I'm going to give the whole area a little bit texture, just a little bit tear and wear, and erase some parts. Erase some parts. Erase some parts here and there. Okay, so just to randomize things. Okay, and I'm going to decrease this, so you can have a sort of a tear and wear. Yeah, I love this. This is definitely too much, but if I just dampen it down, like, yeah, that's more like it. That's more like it. Yeah, I love this feeling. And of course you can use like different settings just to give a tiny little bit like a tear and wear. Maybe overlay. Yeah, overlay is pretty good. Vivid light, all that. Yeah, this is just a experiment. Okay, you can do whatever you like. Overlay, I think is already pretty good. And of course you can change the layer, so the whole tear and wear can be somewhere below, and you can specialize a specific area, so you can get more tear at a specific place, or you can just use the tear and wear to cover everything down below. Yeah, that's really all depends on you. I'm going to just decrease all this scratch, because the scratch is maybe a little bit too much, so I'm going to decrease this a little bit. So just to give you a like really just a subtle feeling of tear wear. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And the lighting, you can adjust that. I'm not so sure about the lighting, so I'm going to decrease a little bit. Maybe increase or decrease. Let me change. So if you increase, that will be a little bit too much. So maybe decrease a little bit. Just decrease a little bit. Okay, here's the interesting thing. I'm going to keep some of the texture, but I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to have a slightly overlay by using Gaussian blur. I know I use Gaussian blur a lot, but it kind of works every time. So add this, but this time you don't need to be add, just some normal layer. This should do. Yeah, maybe something like this. Okay, I love this. And maybe duplicate this again, so it's kind of a cover over and make it more Gaussian blur. Yeah, of course, I think that's pretty much enough, because that's just a personal taste, how much detail that you want. Okay, so for example, if there's some like really huge wear, you can use this and add a specific layer that say, hey, I want this layer, this to be a extremely tiered area that can sort of reflect the light. So for example, you can add a tiny little part, so this like got the light, okay, and you can definitely do that. So this area got light, like really small one maybe. You can even use a ink studio pen, really small one, like this is like some scratch that can give you some sort of light. This is another scratch here, give you a light. Yeah, that's really just some detail that if you want to add, you can always add something just to make it much more realistic. Okay, but yeah, let's just stop here. I think it's already pretty good. So to sort of a quick review, so we start from the solid, no reflective, like marble sort of surface, to a transparent and semi-transparent and reflective but not transparent. Okay, so yeah, I think we practice a lot, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, or if you want see other things, you can leave in the comment. Okay, thanks.